I'm excited. All righty, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to get started with the regular session of the Mount Pleasant City Commission. And with that, we'll have the call to order. And Robert, if you would be so kind as to do the invocation, and who would like to do the pledge? Eric will do the pledge. So if everybody would stand, please.
Okay. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would remain standing by your head. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening, Lord. We're so thankful for this blessed day. Our health, and Father, the ability to be here present, discussing city business tonight. Father, we ask that as we move forward in this meeting tonight, Father, that you give each member here on the commission wisdom to make the right decisions for the community and benefit the city of Mount Pleasant. Father, we ask for continued protection, guide and direct our steps and lead us, Father. May everything that we do bring glory to you. We give you thanks and praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Alrighty, roll call, please.
Okay, so Loretta's not here, so cut me a little slack. I'm trying to.
Double duty.
Bill White,
Here.
Jacqueline Granberry, might hear her. Mike Davis.
Here.
Eric Harvey.
Here.
And Willie Alderson.
Here.
Okay.
Hey, Miss
So
Jackie.
she's here. So, and we don't have to do the roll call vote. Last month was because we had somebody on Zoom.
We had somebody on Zoom.
It should be just a regular vote meeting
Good.
tonight.
Good. All right, number 4, approval or correction of minutes from prior meetings, and you have 2 sets here, the study session on the 10th and then the regular meeting on the 15th.
And I do apologize, it got to you later than I would want them to. We're working on that, how to get that to you quicker, but you do have both of those if you need a minute to take a look at them. I've been over them, Loretta's been over them, several staff people have, but Corey's been over them.
Move that we accept the minutes.
We have a motion, and we have a second.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 5, awards, presentations, and appointments. We have a good night tonight in that we're going to swear in a reserve officer, Mr. Philip Bunting. If you would please, sir, come forward. And I'm sorry that Loretta's not here because ordinarily she would do the oath, but somehow I got asked, so.
I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you. We're glad to have you on board. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Mayor, promise
Nice
my
to
dad
have
was
you.
paid if he showed up. It's all about the money.
All about zeros.
You remember these faces in case we go just a tad over the speed.
Oh, have a white coat. Please give me a mercy.
All right. If you don't mind, just repeat after me, please. I,
I,
Philip Bunting,
Philip Bunny,
do hereby swear that I have all the qualifications
do hereby swear that I have all the qualifications
named in the charter of the city of Mount Pleasant
named in the charter of the city of Mount Pleasant
for the office of a member of the police department
for the office of the member of the police department
of the city of Mount Pleasant,
of the city of Mount Pleasant,
which I am about to assume,
which I am about to assume,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Tennessee,
and of the state of Tennessee,
that I will comply with
that I will comply with
and observe the provisions
and observe the provisions
of the charter of the city of Mount Pleasant
of the charter of the city of Mount Pleasant
and the ordinances
and the ordinances
of the city of Mount Pleasant.
of the city of Mount Pleasant,
And I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
perform the duties to my office
perform the duties of my office
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me get it drawn for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Whatever you name me.
Okay.
Just let me know. All right. Number 6, completion and review of unfinished business. A, ordinance 2021-1076. This is a public hearing and final reading. An ordinance declining to amend the Title 14 zoning and land use control, Chapter 2 zoning ordinance of the Mount Pleasant, Tennessee Municipal Code, the same being the zoning ordinance of the City of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, including the municipal zoning map, incorporated therein by rezoning a property from neighborhood commercial to medium density residential. This property is located on North Main Street.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, this is right next to the post office, and this went before the Planning Commission, not this month, but the last month, and Ms. Granberry was at that meeting, and the Planning Commission declined to change the zoning, I think because there's commercial on each side, but that's up for you to do a final reading on the rezone, and I know that Corey's got the notes in front of you, and Ms. Granberry may have some thought, but I remember you making the motion based on the fact that it was commercial on both sides.
Yeah, let me see the call thing again. The reason why we decided not to was because it would have been spot zoning, which would have came back at us
Okay.
because it's commercial on both sides, and we've been able to do that.
Okay. All right. Again, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here that would care to speak? Please let the minutes reflect that no one offered to speak. And with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we pass ordinance 2021-1079 due to the fact that changing it would make it spot zoning, which would be a problem for us.
1576.
Ordinance 2021.
1576. I thought you said, is that it? Or am I looking at something different?
That's it, declining it, yeah.
Yeah, declining.
Yeah, but I thought you said 1070.
No, I said 1076,
Okay.
passing to declining,
Yeah.
because it would be spot zoning.
Basically, as it's written.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Mhm.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carries. B, ordinance 2021-1077. Again, this is a public hearing and final reading. An ordinance amending Title 14 zoning and land use control, Chapter 2 zoning ordinance of the Mount Pleasant Municipal Code, the same being the zoning ordinance of the City of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, including the municipal zoning map incorporated therein by rezoning a property from low-density residential to high-density residential. Again, this is First Avenue and North High Street.
And Mayor and Commissioners, as you're aware, the Planning Commission did approve this. It came back to the Planning Commission a second time. They were denied the first time when they were wanting to do some safe storage and things like that. Again, Commissioner Granberry would be at this meeting, and we did have feedback, but most of the feedback was ingress and egress and how narrow the streets are, and all that would have to be addressed at a site plan. But the Planning Commission did approve this rezone to the high density, from the low density to the high density.
And we approved this one because the amendment and agreement is within the land use plan for the area, but still, it's got a long way to go before you can put anything there. We did deny storage buildings and decided they want to do townhouses, but they still got a long way to go before they're going to be able to townhouses approved through there too, due to the location, the size of the street, the dead end street. It's long, yeah. All we do is just,
Yeah.
at this point, is rezoning.
Okay. All right. Again, this is a public hearing. Would anybody care to speak? Please let the minutes reflect that no one cared to speak. With that, entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we pass on this 2021-1077. The amendment is within the land use plan for the area.
All right, thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. C, ordinance 2021-1078. Again, this is a public hearing. And the final reading, an ordinance establishing historic zoning overlay district in the city of Mount Pleasant.
And Mayor and Commissioners, we've been working on this historic zoning commission for about 2 years now, and this is kind of the final steps before we can apply to be a certified local government, which the state would be assisting us in getting grants and doing some things. But, make sure that you do know that the map is attached that talks about the overlay for the historic zoning district. And Robert and I are here to answer any questions you may have
Ms. Granberry sits on that board as
as
well.
well.
This one did not go before the planning commission because it did not have to, but
Right.
the main reason for getting this one passed is the fact that we will have someone to come in. We will be able to get someone through a grant to help come in and to help do the historical district and the zoning the way that it should be, and we will qualify for more grants.
Awesome. That's even better. And what was it? There's one thing that also is something city, we have to become a certified.
Certified local government.
Yeah, certified
Yes,
local government.
that's it. Yeah.
But they would help us get that too.
Okay.
The
By passing this, that's the next step to get
Yeah.
that
Okay,
right.
good,
Yeah.
good. All right, y'all have heard it. It is a public hearing. Anyone here care to speak? Please let the minutes reflect no one cared to speak. And with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we pass ordinance 2021-1078 for the historical zone overlay for the benefit of the city of Mount Pleasant.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly report from the mayor. We will have Kate's performance appraisal or performance evaluation available within the next week. I have the draft of which Mr. Chuck and I are working on. It looked really good. He asked me to read over it for grammatical, and he doesn't know that he doesn't want me doing that. But anyway, he's asked me to do that. So once it's finished up, then we'll get all of you a copy. So just to let you know, that's all I've got. Number 8, monthly financial and budget report, and I don't think we're going to have one this month. correct?
We wouldn't even if Loretta was here because there is no year-end June fiscal year report until the audit is done and the numbers are tweaked per the audit, and that's actually adopted then when they present the audit in December. So she wouldn't have had a report either way, just
Okay.
so you're aware of that.
All right. So we don't need a motion or a second?
No.
Okay, good. All right, number 9, monthly report from city manager.
I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that I thought I was really appreciative that Representative Zapicki came and spoke to us. I think he spoke to a lot of priorities that exist on this commission. So I want to thank him for that and have that on record. Wanted to let you all know that the new online payment system is finally going really, really well. And a lot of people are using that. So that's also good. And wanted to let you know that construction on the splash pad restroom started today, and I'll pass these pictures around so you can see them, but they made quite a lot of progress today with that, and we're on our way. I know it's a sore subject sometimes, but we're on our way to getting where we need to be with the splash pad. That's all I had, Mayor.
Okay. Hey, I got by there today, and you could see they're making some progress on it.
I kept hoping it wouldn't rain, and it looks like they did okay today.
Yeah. Any questions for Kate? All right. Special reports from other city departments or committees if applicable. Wastewater liaison report, Mars Design sewer update.
Yes, and Mayor and Commissioners, we've got basically 4 major projects going on. The trunk line is kind of held up right now because of COVID-related ability to get resin shipped in for the piping. So that's a little bit on hold. The weather is no longer the problem. That was the problem originally. The Rainy Street project, we've obtained that property and bidding documents are with USDA. Also, on the wastewater treatment plant improvements, the bidding documents are under review by USDA. Just I know they want to get it to us as quickly as they can, but we have not gotten approval yet. And then on the the influent pump station, you all have approved a contract. Pre-construction conference happened on June 24th, and the notice to proceed was on July 2nd. So that should start happening at the plant very soon.
Okay, good. We're making headway.
Yeah.
You're starting to see some work being done, so we're
Yeah.
making some headway.
And if anybody wants to go out there and see any of it, I'm happy to take you out there.
Making some headway. All right. Mount Pleasant gas system report.
There is no report except to say that, Mayor, as you saw, that came in the mail today from the state,
Yes.
we did have our state inspection and there were no findings, no concerns. And
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
it, but that was the result of
Yep.
it.
Kept trying to read through it and I'm going, okay.
It's all good news.
Yeah, it was all good news. Any questions? All right, number 11, new business. Ordinance 2021-1079. This is a first reading. An ordinance amending Title 14 Zoning and Land Use Control, Chapter 2 Zoning Ordinance of the Mount Pleasant, Tennessee Municipal Code, the same being the zoning ordinance of the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, including the municipal zoning map incorporated therein by rezoning a portion of property from light industrial to high-density residential. And this is the Floyd property at the corner of, is that Magnolia?
It's Magnolia and North Main Street and also Canaan. So Mayor and Commissioners, this is actually 22 acres that would abut 43 in Canaan. It's the northwesternmost point of his property. And there's 78 acres, I believe, and this is rezoning 22 that is not in the floodplain. And the Planning Commission just last week approved it to go from the light industrial to the R3. Like I gotta get it in front of me to make sure I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
R3. And they have their idea is townhomes. There was a lot of discussion at the Planning Commission. The representative was here from the plant that spoke towards it, not for it. Discussion about being on the highway, a lot of other things, but it was a unanimous vote by the Planning Commission to approve it. So, but it's totally up to the commission to decide the next step on that. Can everybody picture what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the corner of 43 and Canaan. That actually also abuts Magnolia, that we've learned is not a city street, but it's part of what is adjacent to GCP.
Yes.
And like Kate said, there was a lot of good discussion at this planning commission meeting with the applicants and the people against and the planning commission, but I tried to include most of those reasons in the text of the ordinance that y'all have in front of you, but they were things like the city needed more residential development. This tract, the way it's situated, it would provide adequate distance between the residential and the light industrial that was there. And if it was approved, it could provide connectivity to the other residential area.
Well, and there's houses right across the road from where this
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It did
Yeah,
not
so-
negatively impact
Right.
any of the neighbors.
So there's already residential areas there.
Correct.
So,
Any other comments or questions? Being none, we need to have a vote, right? Okay.
Mhm.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we
Comments from
accept ordinance 2021-1079 because there will be no adverse effect upon the adjoining property owners because there's already residential areas there.
Okay.
And it will be good for Mount Pleasant in general to bring more housing here.
Amen. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. B, ordinance 2021-1080. Again, this is a first reading. An ordinance of the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, amending Title 4, Chapter 6 of the Mount Pleasant Municipal Code relating to travel rules, regulations, and procedures.
And Mayor and Commissioners, this is required to be an ordinance by the state of Tennessee. And the last time we updated it was 2017, so it is due to be updated. Unfortunately, Loretta not being in the office was unexpected. So we have it in front of you in the best form that we have, but we anticipate we'll probably tweak it a little bit between now and second reading. But it's really about how we handle people that go to conferences, how we pay for their meals, how we deal with paying for gas. And once we have the rules set, we do usually try and follow the state's rules for their traveling as well. But we just want to update it and keep it current.
Okay, any questions for Kate? Being none, entertain a motion.
Move that we accept 2021-1080 as presented.
All righty. Have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. C, Resolution 2021-16, a resolution by the City of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, authorizing a payment in lieu of taxes to the Mount Pleasant Power System fiscal year 21 and 22.
And Mayor and Commissioners, this resolution and the next two are the same, that we pass this every July for the fiscal year, where we take payment in lieu of taxes from our power system. Their payment is in the area between $300,000 and $400,000. And we thank them for that.
Yes. Amen. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept resolution 2021-16 and 2021-17.
I think they have to be separate votes. I'm sorry. I kind of combined them in my narrative, but I think
okay.
they need to be voted on separately. My bad.
That's okay.
It's fine.
I make a motion to accept resolution 2021-16.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. D, Resolution 2021-17, as Ms. Alderson stated, this is doing payment in lieu of taxes for the Mount Pleasant Gas Department.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, same situation. I think last year was in the high 80s. We're hoping maybe to get over 100, but that's the amount that the gas system puts back into the general fund.
Okay. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
And I should say this is a specific formula that the state provides. It's not a number that somebody just comes up with. It's very detailed.
I make a motion to accept resolution 2021-17.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. E, Resolution 2021-18. Again, this is another payment in lieu of taxes for the Mount Pleasant Municipal Housing Authority.
And Mayor and Commissioners, similarly, this is something we pass every year, and I believe that this payment is more in the range of $14,000.
No.
Yeah. And the agreement, of course, you can see in your packet goes back to, I think, 1981. It's a long,
Yeah, it was
long.
pretty interesting how old
It's a
that,
very old
that contract
document.
was.
It was 78. I was wrong. Very old.
I remember when they established it out there, though.
Mm-hmm.
Ballot block.
Yes.
All right. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept resolution 2021-19.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Was that 18?
Yeah.
Yes.
18,
Dash
sorry.
18. It was the in lieu of tax one.
Yes. Yes.
18, sorry.
2021-18. Is that what
Yeah,
you
for
meant?
Mount Pleasant Housing.
Resolution 2021-18. I
Great.
make a motion to accept it.
And we had a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. F, Resolution 2021-19, a resolution revising the employee compensation plan for the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2021 and ending June 30th, 2022.
Mayor and Commissioners, this compensation plan, we started this my first year here in 2016, where we first put on paper a compensation plan to follow. And I want to go over the bullet points, which you should have in front of you, of the changes that have been made since you approved it last time. So we have moved up the top out of the pay plan for assistant fire chief, assistant police chief, and the codes captain. Those pay raises have not been processed, and they won't be until this is approved. We've done the same thing with the chief water and chief wastewater operator positions. Those positions previously were supervisor. We've changed them to chief because that's pretty typical in cities that they are chief water and chief wastewater operation. Again, those haven't been processed. They're waiting for this approval. We've moved the accountant, grant coordinator, customer service supervisor, executive administrative assistant up by 3%, basically because we have employees that have not been able to get pay increases for a couple of years, and we think that they are worthy of that. So we've moved that up. We've removed the firefighter driver from the comp plan and made it more streamlined, where we have firefighter, engineer, captain. When this was first created, we didn't have all of our employees in the fire department certified. They all are now. So it makes sense to change it to the way we have it here. I think I mentioned to you on Thursday night that we have reclassified a position, a customer service rep, to a customer service tax rep. And that has upped the pay and the ability to make more money. And that is in this as well. We've removed water and wastewater gas number 5 positions. We did that simply because right now the highest attainment is a 3. And so we don't feel that we need the 5 in there right now. A lot of this is just cleaning up the Public Works Department, where the director, Keith McCafferty, is rewarding employees that want to get these certifications and get more education behind them, and we'll make sure they get paid for that. So we also have separated the employees that work in utilities that are in the shop from the employees that work in the utilities that are at the plant, because they're very different jobs. So you can see that we added a plant class, and we addressed the employees that are at the shop. And then we added the plant operator position, which is basically somebody that is working at either plant, but at entry level without any certifications. And they're all in here. Happy to answer questions. That was a lot for me to reiterate, but y'all have that, don't you, in front of you? Okay. Those are the changes that were made to that compensation plan.
Comments? Questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Move that we accept 2021-19 as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a couple of seconds. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. G, request to designate STBG funds for 2021 to the Downtown Revitalization Project and TDOT TAP grant in the amount of $74,518.
And Mayor and Commissioners, you're aware that we're able to get these STBG funds now that our population passed $5,000. This is right now about our annual allotment. We've already received $147,000. You have to designate where you want that money to go by September of the state fiscal year. And that just continues to go into the downtown revitalization. And it just needs to be in the minutes that the board requested to designate the STBG funds to this project.
Comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
We don't want to turn money away.
Did we get the census code up to?
The census is only in draft form right now.
Okay.
And it's about 28 short from keeping us from 5,000. So if that ends up being the final version of the census, we'll do a special census.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we pass the STBG fund for 2021.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Not second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. H, codification, however you pronounce it, of ordinances to update the municipal code.
So Mayor and Commissioners, the last time we did this was in 2016. At that point, it had not been done for quite some time, so it took a long time to do that. So with your permission, I'm going to go ahead and send all of our ordinances off to MTS, and they will update it and get it updated to kind of where we are right now. It'll probably take a year to 18 months to get, it may not, because the last time there were so many. It may be less than that, but then it's updated, and what's on our website, what's on MTS website is as current as right now, as far as ordinances that we've passed. So again, I just need it in the minutes that permission to move forward with codification of the ordinances to the municipal code.
We need a
Yes.
vote.
Yes.
Okay. Understanding that, does anybody care to make a motion?
I make a motion to accept a codification of ordinance to update the ordinance code, whatever codification.
You got it. You said it.
You said it.
Mhm.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I, Hamilton Building Development Agreement.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is actually the first one that we've done like this, where we're working with a developer where there's an ultimate benefit to the city. And we had a kind of a late conversation today with MTS, and they had a few suggestions for changes, and we would like to ask you to defer this into the August
Okay.
meeting
Good.
for a vote on that, so that whatever we have in front of you, we're comfortable with, MTS is comfortable with. And Corey, you want to add anything to that?
No, sorry for the late response on this one, but I think that if we can have another month to make sure we get it right, it's better.
What's
Yeah.
30 days to
Right.
get it
Yeah, so
absolutely
we
right?
weren't talking to them till about 3:00 today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, really, this isn't, I equate this to there not being a flame tied to this.
There's nothing yet.
We've got to get it done.
You all
but
know what we're doing. We're trying
Yeah.
to figure out how to put it in writing the best way.
Good. Because it's going to make a huge difference in that part.
So we're actually asking you to vote to defer it to the August meeting.
So somebody like to make a
I
motion
make
that
a
we,
motion that we defer the Hamilton Building Agreement until next month.
we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. General comments from citizens. We have Mr. Frank Webb here of 201 Bond Street with the First Baptist Church. So if you would come forward, Mr. Webb.
Thank you, sir. I have a question and then a couple of comments. The question is, what is the current status of the plans for the brewery to open at 115 South Main Street at what I think we're calling now the Hamilton Building?
The current status is my understanding, and Robert, you chip in if
Yeah.
I'm mistaken, is that they've applied for a permit for the build out of the space that they would occupy. So that's something that would need to be approved. Any beer license would have to go through the beer board, that process. That's where it is right now.
I'm still awaiting documents to complete the permit package from that. So the review has not begun and will not begin until I receive that additional documentation.
So if I understand what you're saying, and I'm just a layman, that it's in process.
It's in process.
Their permit is in
And
process, yes.
is the anticipation that they will be opening at this location?
I don't know that we could even say that yet because it hasn't gone in front of the beer board. We talked about the measurements at the study session of the 200 feet, 50 feet, and what it used to be prior. And I know that Corey is looking into that as far as, when we bring that back to the commission. But I think the general consensus, without doing a lot of review between Thursday and Tuesday, is they submitted the permit, and the current ordinance will be what stands for them.
And wasn't it also said, I guess, if, you know, if this brewery is, I guess, in the distance, just like anybody else, that we couldn't deny them?
That was the general discussion. I think Corey says it's not so simple. You just don't look at one place to get an answer to that, but that was her general feeling.
So what you just said is my biggest concern. I started looking into this because the commission asked me to put
Yes.
together kind of a bullet point list of
All the above. Mhm.
right. And it's not a simple answer. And that's why I didn't give you anything today. I didn't want you to be trying to vote reactively on something when you don't know the implications of it. But that is one of my concerns, Commissioner Davis, that once you change it, it changes it for everybody and not just this one particular building. So don't know the answers, but we're working on it.
Well, of course, you know, I came last week to your
Yes,
study
sir.
committee, and I don't want to take your time and repeat everything I said at that meeting, but just to summarize that we have great concern over this opening at that location. We object to that, and our main objection centers on the ordinance itself, which is 8-216 as written. And I'm sure the beer board has to go by your ordinance, and so that's why I'm coming to you all. Our main objection is the discrepancy in the distance between churches and schools. 250 feet for churches, 1,000 feet for schools. We believe that is unfair and unequal treatment because you're allowing it 4 times as close to a church as to a school. So we object to that part of the ordinance.
I think,
That's a state law.
yeah, I think we also changed it, you know, from our building right here also. Didn't we, Kate?
We have a downtown district area. I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
That is
It used to
less.
be government.
But
buildings as well.
I do have your written document of everything you presented, and that'll be part of the minutes going forward as far as what was discussed. So your comments are kind of part of the record.
Well, thank you for that. Our other objection, of course, in the ordinance was how you measure that distance. And I think the method that is presently in the ordinance is a very convoluted method of going up and down sidewalks and crosswalks and all this crazy kind of stuff where you can almost get whatever measurement you want instead of the common sense straight line measurement. And again, I just want to repeat that as a matter of the record. And I just want to continue to appeal as respectfully as I can. Obviously, I've not brought a gang of people with me every time. I'm doing my best to try to appeal to you to do the right thing here and listen to our objections on a very peaceful, calm note. But this is a matter that's very important to us as a church group. It's not something that we can easily let go of, back off from. To us, it's a moral issue, not just a political issue. And so suffice it to say, we're in this to stay. And we want to continue to voice our beliefs and opinions and hope you'll take them to heart and consideration, and hopefully it can be resolved peacefully right here.
And I'll commit to you that if there's an ordinance in front of this commission for review that involves, I'll make sure that you're aware of it.
Thank you very much.
We do advertise in the paper, but not everybody looks at the last page of the paper to see that, but I'll make sure that you're aware of it.
Thing that got my attention with just in the last few days is apparently these folks are going ahead on this and they're going to be opening there. It was posted online that a week from Friday, they're doing a celebration there in the parking lot of the Heritage Bank, giving away free beer samples. Now, how is that even possible or legal that they can do free beer samples right there in the public parking lot? So this concerned us that here we're seeing this online. Have you seen this? If you
I
haven't-
was aware of it. They're doing some unveiling of a mural, is my understanding.
Yeah, I think the mural is an excuse, but obviously I think it involves the brewery and giving away their free samples. So that concerned us when we saw that. Is this about to happen, you know? So we didn't know, and that's why I came and asked.
I don't know all the details behind this, but this does not involve them being licensed to sell beer at this location. I can tell you that for sure.
But they are planning to do free beer samples in a public parking lot.
I don't know, Michael, are you prepared to speak to that? I know
It's a private parking lot, I can't really.
It's a private event.
They're not selling or selling tickets to the event, it's a private parking lot. I know they can't leave the parking lot.
they can't leave with anything in their
As
hand.
long as they're not selling it or selling tickets to the event, the beer board does not go with that.
as if they were having a party inside the building, same thing.
But it's on a public street.
No, it's in their parking lot,
I know it's in their parking lot, but it's right on that public street.
but they can't leave that
Private
parking lot.
property.
Yeah,
Now, if they get on the public street, I can do something about it.
Yeah, quickly.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
So they let them drink it before they walk on the street.
Yeah, they better not get caught on the street. That's for certain.
Better not drink too much of it.
Yeah, and they better not do that either.
Chief Hay, and I don't mean to open Pandora's box, but, you know, I'm in agreement with Brother Frank. And, I also wondered about the Mount Pleasant Grill, because they sell alcohol as well.
We're going through the state of Tennessee for all this.
So we only control beer. Alcohol, like hard liquor, is through the state. We have no say in that at all. So the grill went through the state to get permission to sell the hard alcohol. Anything with us, which was been way before I was here, is permission to sell beer.
Okay, and then, so how many feet have we measured the grill?
I think that was permitted way before,
That was-
Before
long
this ordinance?
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
long time ago. Yeah.
And that's 10 plus years ago, long time
Yeah,
ago.
long time ago.
There are places I could point out in our city that are too close in my mind to meet the state regulations, but we don't permit that. So I don't know how you go back once they've been permitted. And it's not
They'd
ours
be
to permit.
grandfathered.
Yeah, I was
The
told,
only way the council or change is if they violate the law.
They sell to minors or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
violate law, or if they sell the business and ownership.
yeah, because I tried to, do something about the church, about the Mexican restaurant, but it was already approved.
The one up here.
And, yeah, the one down
Yeah.
here, it was already approved, and the way that it went, it's, I tried that battle too.
Because it's right across the street from the church.
To me, it's right across the street from the church, but just like the pastor was saying, you go up to the stoplight, cross the street, come down and walk down the street. And it makes the feet a little bit more, makes it a little bit more convenient for them to get approved. It's not the way the crow flies.
No.
I've approached.
It's the way the
But
pedestrian
in
legally
looking
walks.
at the ordinance, though, it only says within 250 feet of a church. Nothing about
But if
sidewalks
you
or
go into the
crosswalks.
state rules, the
Maybe looking at the one for wine or hard liquor, because I did it first. But if you go to 8-216.
Okay, I'm on 106, so,
yeah,
okay,
8-216, that's. the
Which is
one
beer. Yeah.
gotcha.
I know y'all may not agree with this, but I had a pretty smart man tell me that he'd been doing this for a while. And this is going to come off harsh, but it's just reality. They said, in reality, the state of Tennessee don't care where you sell it. They're looking for the taxes.
true.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
I mean, literally.
High
Brother
tax.
Webb, I don't mean nothing by this. I'm a Christian. Not try to live a Christian life. But everything that's been passed, liquor by the drink or whatever, is passed by Christians.
So the way a
Think of that. Think
The
of
way a
that.
brewery works, city will govern if they sell it by the glass inside the brewery.
Right.
Everything else, whether or not the brewery is there and they make their beer there, it's all governed through the state.
And it's confusing.
It's very
We
confusing
admit
at
that.
best.
And the city amended this ordinance a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
It was a long process then, and I went back and tried to look at some of my notes thinking, oh, we already did this. This will be a quick answer. And it's not. I mean, there's lots of different variables here. So,
It's a tough conversation, but it needs to be had.
And when we've had it before, we've had it when the grill started serving alcohol and City Hall was sitting here and
Yeah.
the church, and they still got it, so,
And that's been years ago.
yeah.
Many years.
Many. Nobody was serving then. Mike, I don't think you were even on it when they got it, were they? Gosh, that's been 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, I know,
Long time.
I know when Mayor Bailey, that's mine, when I remember it really coming up.
Yeah.
Because of the grill, because the
Right.
grill was almost like they couldn't make it without having,
The alcohol.
liquor by the drink.
Right.
And that's why,
I know that was the story in Columbia with Puckett.
that's the reason
Yeah.
that's the reason the lines were short,
Mhm.
just being honest.
Well, it's true. All righty, any other comments, questions? Mr. Eric? Vice Mayor?
Well, she's not here. I just want to especially thank my mayor and commissioners that I work with up here. And we don't always see eye to eye, but we do try to go out here still talking to each other. So that's a good thing. But I want to thank them for last month because it was a teetotal surprise and nobody could surprise me. That's all. So,
Miss Victoria's not here.
and and she pulled off a good one. So I want to thank y'all very much. And I appreciate what you did with my family and my son. And he was so excited to be able to do this.
That was neat, he made it.
And I missed it.
And you missed good food too if you didn't come and stay.
Mm-hmm, they did that
It
I
right.
was
think we
really
need to do it
Right.
again. I think we need to do it again next
Well, we
month.
just want to recruit them for the food?
Yes.
Is that what you're
You
saying?
got it. Somebody get it?
Mike, you got anything?
He
Got
keeps
it right here.
it.
He's carrying his with
Yeah,
him.
I got it.
I thought she confiscated them every time.
Okay.
I
He
got
brings
mine.
it back every time. He even
You're
let
not
me
gonna
do
give me
it.
it. I said, Mike, you
I
don't
make
get
sure I put mine back
And
in
that's your
there.
thank you.
Mike, you got anything else?
The only thing I got, Mayor, is I got a call, and I think, some other commissioners got a call from Jurgensen,
I did. Matter of fact, I met with him yesterday.
and I
I met
don't,
with him today.
yeah, and I don't know, how to go about this. I don't know if there needs to be a study session to bring it up or what.
Here's what Kate and I discussed it yesterday morning, and she's gonna get with Corey.
Already
Just-
have, yeah.
Just so, because as I said, we need to clearly understand what is what. So I think you'll hear this again at the August meeting. Let's do it then so we can address it.
So,
Wait.
yeah, this is a picture of his property, and I think I brought it to Corey's attention probably 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do in the meantime is to get somebody, even my own son, that needs community service, to just go out there and cut it to address the problem, right away. But he's thinking that he doesn't own to the street, and I think our position right now, without doing more homework, is that you do. It's just a right of way or an easement, but it still means you maintain it.
Is that where we get into the 25 feet or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah, like this little
Right.
strip right here.
Right, the city,
And-
city has the right to go through your property, put lines or whatever on that 25-foot section, but it's up to the homeowner
Right.
to keep it clean.
But Robert cautions us that, if that's going to be our stance, we need to treat all property owners the same way. And sometimes on Main Street, because it's Main Street and it's the entrance to our community, we do
Keep it
cut.
clean.
So that's something that we want to bring to you, but I'm hoping to just try and at least get taken care of his immediate problem. But I think we're in the right by saying it is your responsibility. I just hate that he's gotten to the point where it's too difficult for him to take care
Because,
of it.
maybe that's where we could help out our senior people or whatever.
Right. We just, if we did anything like that, we'd have to do it for everybody in the same situation. So I'm hoping we could maybe, I think it was Eric that brought up community service, which is a good idea.
Me and Willie was talking about, like the football players need community service time. We could get them, but then we was told that, it was a legal standard on whether they could enter their
If the
property.
city's involved, but if I go tell my son to go out there with his weed eater and mow it, the city's not involved.
So if we just
Makes
took the
sense.
football players, then it wouldn't involve the
It
city.
would just be them. We're not
Yeah,
giving
what
them
we would do is just let Dr.
Keep us out of it.
Jackson and Mr. Hughes know, hey, we've got some
Needs.
people in our community that have needs that they're not physically able to do.
and we're not sponsoring it and anything like that.
And here's the address. If you could recommend somebody.
Might help us out.
Yes.
Or help them out.
So that
Still need insurance or whatever, I would assume.
they would, that would be their issue. I don't know if they're doing it as a
I
school
mean,
related
if something like
project.
that was done, the homeowner would need to know, you know.
Yeah. I wouldn't show up out there without him knowing, being okay with it, but that's kind of where we are with it. I'm trying to like take care of it, because I went out there, it's very high, to, while we're looking at it, to at least get it taken care of.
Ms. Willie?
I don't have anything.
Me either. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move.
Got a second? All those in favor? Motion carries. Thanks, everybody, for being here.
Mayor, thank you.